Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Quad Pod. I am your co-host, Sam.
It's a very emphatic introduction. I like that.
Oh.
We're looking at this camera this week, so hopefully
Yeah.
I remember that. I am Carlo.
Do you look at the camera often?
I feel like I soapbox a lot on here, so I feel like I kind of do look at it a lot.
I don't look at the camera as often as the average Joe.
Well,
no.
you need
it's
to,
yeah.
you need to drive your point home. So you gotta look at it, and you gotta address the people directly.
I know. Yeah. Now I feel like they're looking like right at me though. Like before it was like a side thing. So
You're
it's
the
like,
main attraction now.
Quit playing.
Yeah.
Stop it.
You've always been the main
Oh. A lot happened.
Yeah,
this week.
a lot happened.
Happened.
We're gonna get into it. I just want to say though, really quickly, I feel like we should say this more. We haven't said it before. The Quad had released a bunch of new, really cool stories this week.
Yes.
That's like the main reason why we're here is we're part of the Quad. So I should say that first of all. We have a bunch of cool new stories this week, as we do every week.
Yes.
It's funny that I say that because next week we're actually off for spring break. but most weeks
that aren't breaks.
we have awesome new stories out at WCUquad.com. We're going to be talking a bit through some of those this week, but just general promo. If you want news coverage or arts and entertainment, some op-eds, some features, go to our site, and we have some really good stuff by really super awesome, talented writers. Also, I don't know if you saw, we do have 5 award winners. Is that correct? 5? The Quad has 5 award winners for statewide media awards this year. So I think it's a better time than ever to give a shout out to all those winners and
of
our
course, yeah.
publication in general.
Check them out.
I think you should have one. That's so.
I know.
I'll just say that. So you have my support.
Some from stupid Shippensburg one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wait. Okay. I probably shouldn't say this because but just because like I'm gonna.
Yeah.
They're gonna be mad at me and they're not gonna give me an award again. But I'll air my grievances here. Why not?
Yeah.
I got 3rd place. I mean, honorable mention is essentially 3rd place because there's 1st place, 2nd place, honorable mention.
Yeah.
So I got 3rd place last year for my Barbenheimer piece.
Yes.
Which was like, oh, that's cool. I was really excited.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, none of this matters. But I just thought it was funny looking into this because so it was in the review category, right?
Yeah.
Like not even like generally arts and entertainment. It was in the review category specifically.
Okay.
So 2nd place, and again, this ultimately does not matter. At the end of the day, I do not care. But the story that got 2nd place ahead of me was about a furry convention. And I'm just like, and I furthermore, I don't even have issue with the fact that it was about a furry convention because, like I've said many times before,
yeah,
I don't care what people like. That's not
do what you want.
That's not a part of it at all.
Yeah,
I'm just like, that's not like a review though. It's like,
no, it's
like,
not.
It's like, what are you reviewing? Like,
maybe they compared it to other furry conventions and gave it a score.
and again, like no hate at all to the writer or whatever. I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it was a great piece.
I'm sure it was a great piece.
Yeah.
I just in the review category, I was like, it's like wow. But yeah, I just thought that was funny from last year.
I never knew that. That's funny.
Yeah, because it's like, how do you review a furry convention? Like, yeah, man, it was fun.
You know, I'll be back next year. You know.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I guess that's the best measure if you're gonna go back next year.
Oh yeah, I'll be back and I'll have more.
You know what is funny about the furry community is that those suits that they wear, they're not cheap.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not. You're right. No, actually,
they're multiple thousands of dollars
Jesus
to get those custom made. So like low key, like if you see a furry in the wild, like respect.
Do you see many?
I don't.
I've never seen one in an actual like full suit. I've seen
me neither.
I've seen like tails and stuff like that though around.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you see somebody repping that, it's like
just know they're
doing well for themselves. So like you got to respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like I got to go back and see where I was originally going with this whole train of thought.
But
let's talk about the awards.
But congratulations to those who won.
Yes, congratulations to those who won. Yes. Okay. In further campus news, I appreciate that you wanted to talk about the trailer park.
Yes. Yeah. So my girlfriend came here for the weekend, and we went walking around the borough and stuff like that. And we also went around campus. And I was like, well, we're not over here. I should go probably, because I looked at the trailer park home, which I don't know its actual official name.
It's funny. They're trying to make it sound really formal. It's called Matlack Court, I believe.
Matlack Court.
And there's that sounds so much better than it actually is.
Yeah, because Because I saw it like when it was only like 1 or 2 of them up last semester.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder how much progress has been made. But you know what? Maybe it won't be too horrible. It didn't. Okay, from the looks of it, it looked like a little community.
Okay, wait. Before I'm gonna ask you about that, but real quick, just for context for
Yes.
people who aren't aware, Matlack Court, as they're calling it,
yes.
it essentially is a trailer park. I mean,
Yeah.
we can get a picture for context.
Yeah.
But the school is having housing issues. So I'm looking at this camera.
Yep.
So their solution to this. Their solution to housing issues is not, okay, maybe we don't have to admit as many freshmen so that we can actually manage this issue. That's not their solution.
No.
Their solution is, let's actually take up about, I don't know how many spots it is, but like I'll say like maybe about 50 parking spots.
It's probably even more than that.
It's probably
It's
more
a
than
big. That was a big. I remember when we,
Yeah,
like
you know
we
what? Yeah.
walked through that
Yeah.
lot one time, and I remember being like, "This is big. Like, I wonder who parks here."
50 probably is even undershooting it,
Mhm.
but just, I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, their solution is let's take away like 50 to 100 or maybe even more parking spots from a school where many of our students, I don't know what the exact percentage is, are commuters though.
Yeah, no, a significant amount are.
And I am a part of that like commuter like population here at the school, and I can tell you that their decision to build a trailer home on this lot, and you know, again, you can't park there obviously because you're building it on top of the lot. Their decision to do this, like I have, so my Monday, Wednesday, Friday class starts at 11, and that's my first class of the day.
Yeah.
Like, if I get there on time for my class at just like 10:30, sucks for me because I'm not getting a parking spot. Like,
Oh, okay. So you don't have like an actual spot. Like, do you
No.
have a spot like guaranteed for you or no?
no. So when you buy a parking pass, you do not have a spot guaranteed to you.
Really?
It's not like
I actually did not
it's
know
not
that.
reserved parking or anything.
Wow.
It's just like you can park in the student lots. The Westchester official website says that 70% of the Westchester student population is either off campus or commuters.
It's like,
So to make that decision to be like, yeah, it's probably a good idea to close off an entire parking lot.
maybe they're trying to like. I think they're trying to up the numbers for, like, in person. Not in person, but like living on campus.
On campus, yeah.
But still, it's like, why are you getting rid of these spots? I don't know. I think they should just know what the solution should be. I think they should make the parking garages just taller and taller.
Just like skyscraper.
Yeah, skies. I want them to be as tall as like every other building.
What if so you know like Carvana with like their car vending
Yeah, the
machine?
car vending.
What if you get on like a big elevator? You put your car in an elevator and you
Dude, I've had to convince people about like going to those car vending machines. I've told people about them and they're
do
like,
you frequent them?
No. I've seen one before, and I was like,
I actually haven't. I don't think
I was on a road trip and I was like, I was like, they're real? I was like, it's actually real. And I was telling someone like, that's just for the commercials. They're not real. I was like, I saw it with my own eyes. Like, this is, it is. Like, I feel like it's not talked about enough.
That is kind of crazy that like, in theory, you could just decide one day, you know what, like, it's time to get a car, and like go to the car vending machine and be like, yeah, that one looks pretty cool. Let me get that one.
You're like looking up like,
Yeah. and what is it? Do you just like, you like do Apple Pay? It's like, yeah. Let me get that one. Like, it's definitely not like that, but just
The
the
first down
idea
payment.
that's the impression that I get, and it's like I don't.
well, I like to think you buy a token.
You do. You're right. Yeah, you buy it.
Don't you? Do you?
That's what it is. Yeah, you're right.
How do you
you're
get a token though?
So
You
okay,
earn
that low key makes more sense because I would assume that it's like you go on their website and you do all the financing information on the website.
You get enough box tops.
But I mean, you get, yeah. Dude, box tops. That's a crazy. Do they still have box tops?
This is like this. This was one of the saddest things I learned about like when
no.
I got into like
Oh,
college.
no.
I think the box tops are still a thing,
They are okay.
but you do not cut them out. It is like QR code. It's like you scan something. It's all digital, and that
What are they taking from us, man? Oh,
that actually annoyed me so bad.
that's Elon's fault somehow.
That's gotta-
probably. Like, that's like he had a hand in that.
Because it's like it was. I remember filling gallon-sized bags full of box
I do
tops
too.
and bringing them
I
in
do
like to
too.
school. Or now it's all
Man,
on
like
it made me so mad. Like,
Look at-
come on. Like, okay, the environment. Shut up. Like, it was just fun.
it was cardboard. You can recycle it.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Man, what are they taking away from our children?
I know. Like, those are the things that we don't think about.
Yeah. Dude, like, can you, like, being a child in 2025 is, like, terrible.
I know, yeah.
Because you just sit there and watch Coco Melon for, like, 23 hours a day. And then the other hour is, like, sleep,
You
I guess.
sleep, you shit yourself. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's just constant like sensory and like I don't know, like there's always
something happening.
Yeah, like when we were kids, like it was somewhat it wasn't pre-internet, but it was before it got crazy.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, I remember having, like, big meetings in elementary school, like, and, like, we didn't really have an auditorium, we had a gym. We just all go in the gym, and it was the whole thing, like, if you guys sell, and someone would come in and, like, if you sell these things, you can get prizes. And I remember being like, you get a limo, you get to drive back in the limo, and I was like, this sounds awesome, and I never put any effort into it, and it's like, apparently it's, like, a huge scam.
I was about to say that because, dude, like, even as a kid, I was like, well, this is a little weird. Like, why do they want me, like, a 10-year-old in, like, 3rd grade to sell, like, popcorn buckets? Like, why is this my responsibility?
Dude, it was always, like, baked goods.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I didn't understand it because I was like, I'm selling them baked goods I don't have. And I was like.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it literally is because I was like, I don't have these. I don't want to sell them to and I was always too afraid. Like, I remember I thought about signing up, and my mom was like, you're not going to do it, are you? I was like, no. I was like, can you come with me? She's like, no.
Yeah, because why would you? That's like.
No one ever got the limo. No. I think the limo was, like, not even obtainable.
I don't think anybody ever got anything from those because it's like. Now, one of the good ones that I don't know if your school did something like this, but what my school did. And it's kind of funny because in retrospect, you could have just lied about this. But if you had, like. X number of days in a row on your like reading log.
Yep.
They would have prizes for that. So like I think one of them was like out of all places it was like you would get like a free Papa John's pizza or something. For,
really?
It was like
that sounds super familiar. We had a walkathon. You know, you have a walkathon.
So I know what that is. We didn't have them. Though.
Apparently, the way our like the recess yard was, if you like did a lap around a certain part, it was like a 1/4 of a mile, and kids would just circle. Like
they would just
they just go and they would spend their recess walking in circles in like 3rd or 4th grade. And I mean, this is a pretty big circle, but like I was like, I remember being like so dumbfounded by these people. Like, this is your chance like to play tag. This is your chance to go into monkey bars.
That sounds like a scene out of like Animal Farm or something.
No, like looking back, I'm like I remember just seeing like everyone. It wasn't like it was like a straight line like marching.
No, yeah.
But they were all like talking with their friends and walk. Some people do it by themselves, and I'm like, I did it once. I remember.
They just fell in line and they were like,
I think
get on that grind.
I remember because you have to like you mark down your miles, and I think I remember I saw everyone next to me writing so much more that I lied.
That is and that's another thing that they took from today's youth. It's like when we were kids, you could just straight up lie about so much. Like you really could. Like you could lie about your reading log. You could lie about the amount of miles you walked. Like you can't like lying is so much more difficult today, and that's a problem.
Yep.
Like.
Like
well. Wait. What lying is more difficult, and that's a problem? No, it's not. But it is though in some situations.
Okay, but like, is it like? Obviously, there's a type of lying. It's like don't do that.
Okay, no, you know what? You're right. There's a line. It's like if you're telling a lie that like harms somebody else or is like manipulative, then that's wrong. That is wrong. But if you want to lie about the number of books you read because you want some free pizza, I support that. I do support that. I'm with that.
And like, I mean, like, I wonder if you even have like, did you have iReady? You ever have iReady at all?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
So that was something that was like new when I got to middle school. It was like a computer thing, and it was my homework for math, and it was like it put you through like so there was like characters. There was everything was sweet tea, pepper jack, and it was like all these characters, and you'd have to sit through the storyline to do the homework, and it would literally take you like 40 minutes to do one.
That's terrible.
And it was like new when I got there. Because when I got there, they in my 7th grade year, I think they just gave us Chromebooks. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
And I hope that continues because I cannot be the only generation that was haunted by that. Like, it was horrible. Like, when I remember leaving 8th grade, being just so happy, not to be away from middle school, not to go to high school, but just being done with iReady.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the.
I think we are a part of that like generation where they were using a lot of technology while we were in school, but at the same time they didn't even themselves figure it out yet.
Yeah, no,
like it was totally.
We were. I think. Our generation was definitely in that learning of like, let's see what happens when we give them this Chromebook. Because like I know in my school district now, like elementary schoolers, they get the laptops.
Yeah.
And then once you get to middle school, you get a Chromebook.
That's why, yeah. So I think us, like, because it did get to a point where, like you said, they were giving us Chromebooks and everything. And like we were born in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah, I was
for us, I'd say like for our very specific like we're only a little bit cooked. Like we're like maybe like medium rare.
Yeah.
Like kids who were born like 2010 onwards, like they're well done.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like they're kind of crispy. Like
dude, it's like take them off the pan. You can't even serve that to someone.
You can't. Nobody wants that.
Nobody.
And that's why. And that's why we have no teachers anymore, because nobody wants to deal with that shit.
Dude, nobody wants to teach that.
No.
I think teachers are gonna have to be like. I think young teachers are gonna become way more popular because I think old teachers aren't gonna know what to do with these things. Like, like I honestly like a young teacher will be able to like somewhat understand them.
Yeah.
But I think an old teacher just won't be able to do it.
An old teacher, like they're gonna hear the word like. Even this, I was gonna say skibbity, but that's like a year old at this point. So it's like I don't.
Yeah, I think the age of skibbity's going down.
I'm out of the loop, man. I'm too old. Like I'm 22. Yeah. Like it's over for me. Like my life is done. Like,
dude, yeah, no, I hate for the day like it's even happening now, I guess, but like where I don't understand certain trends and like people be saying jokes and I'm like I just don't get it, like
because. You have to be like chronically online to get everything.
Dude, I remember when I like got rid of TikTok officially. I haven't had it in a long time. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm any better than the people who have TikTok. I still use Instagram Reels. I still use Shorts. Like, and I like to think that I'm like, no, I'm doing really good for myself. I'm just as bad. But when I got rid of TikTok specifically, I noticed I felt extremely out of the loop on a lot of bits and stuff like that. Like my one friend was so chronically addicted, he would have to almost every day he'd come up to me and be like, "Hey, this is the new like, did you see this?" And I'm like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, dude, this is the funniest thing ever."
I mean, I will say that's one of the because obviously there are many bad things. Yeah. That is one of the I think good things about like TikTok and social media because like it is a part of culture now.
Yep.
And like it fosters like jokes and community and
whatnot.
But obviously the cons of it outweigh.
Oh my God, yeah,
they outweigh that because what ends up happening is like you can say all these good things about TikTok and everything, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, for a lot of people, it's like an 8-hour time suck every day. And that's bad. That's not good.
I literally have an app called ClearSpace, and I actually recommend you get it if you have TikTok or Instagram or are chronically addicted. Yeah, because to get on the app, you have to like wait. It was like deep breath in and out, and then it gives you a quote. Look, I never read the quote. And then it's like, no, but that's not the point. That's not the point. And then it gives you a minute to be like, do you really want to do this? And you click, yeah. And then and then you can set the amount of time you want to be on, but I do 10 minutes. So 5 times a day, I get to go on Instagram for 10 minutes. But I never normally go up to 5 times, but it does stop me from getting on.
That's good.
But then I usually try to do it. I like have to like almost sometimes force myself to do it once a day because I'm even more out of the loop if I don't do it.
That's true. Yeah. But like, I guess it's like, do you want to be in the loop or do you like not want your brain to melt?
Yeah. No, that's why I have to be like 10 minutes. It's just 10 minutes.
And I'm saying this as somebody that doesn't even do that. I'm on it too much myself. But it is what it is. Oh, man.
Well, hopefully like this new generation can like the ones in school right now, though they might be cooked, they can foster a generation that isn't.
Is there any? I'm trying to think. Like, is there any way that you get uncooked? Throw yourself in the freezer, but that's like you're still like.
Well, you start with
you're still the same.
You got to start with something new. Like if it's already cooked, it's already cooked.
That metaphor is to start with something new. I feel like you want to kill them.
No. Like they have kids.
So they're not allowed to have kids.
No, they have kids.
Oh, they have kids.
And that the little kids are new.
We're getting a little lost in this metaphor, I think.
No, we don't get rid of them. We keep them so that they can foster a new generation and they haven't been cooked yet. They're still young, so they'll eventually be cooked to perfection, hopefully.
Cooked to perfection.
Like us.
Sure.
Like us.
Like us. We're perfect. If everybody on Earth was like us, there would be no problems.
It would be like that society where it's like there's no stoplights and cars are just going perfectly. Like there's no stop signs. Yeah. Everyone just knows exactly what they're doing.
We've talked about it before, but I'm telling you, I think if you and I led the new world order, I really think everybody would get. First of all, everybody would get along. And second of all, everything would be perfect. Nobody would want for anything.
Yeah, if there's
You know what I mean?
there's a fight between sides. Stop! This isn't you. Like, that'd be me in the middle, you know?
Yeah. And people would listen to you because they respect you.
Yeah.
Yes.
They respect me.
Yeah. Speaking of society,
Yes.
which unfortunately does exist. we did say like maybe 10 minutes ago that we were actually going to talk about news. And we'll get into that.
We're
going
gonna get into that now. Yeah, we kind of got on a little tangent.
Yeah.
News.
Yeah. Okay. So I would start here with the biggest news.
That's definitely the biggest one.
It's definitely the biggest, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody will probably have some awareness of this, but on Friday, it was the February 28th, I think, was the date. On Friday, February 28th, President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine came to America to talk with President Trump and Vice President Vance, and that didn't go well. What is what is your exposure to this? What are you aware of in terms of what happened?
I remember, like, I didn't even know it was going to happen, and I think I literally just did my thing where I went on Instagram and I saw, like, Trump and Zelensky, like, meetup goes horrible, and I was like, oh, God, I was too afraid. I was too afraid to look. Like, I was like, I don't even want to know what that means for the Ukraine-Russia war and what that means for us.
I can tell you that. Okay, so
because you watched it live.
I did watch. Yeah, I was. So that's basically. Yeah, I was at home on Friday, because I didn't have class, and I had the news on in the background just by chance, and I was just doing work on my laptop, and all of a sudden it's like breaking news alert, whatever, and it's airing it live as they're like literally like arguing. I mean, Zelensky wasn't, but like Trump and Vance were arguing like children in the Oval Office, and I'm watching it live, and I'm like,
what's happening?
What is this?
Yeah,
because like, okay, I don't even know where to start because there's so much. and honestly, like, I would recommend, like, if you care about this even a little bit, which you should, I think.
This is
just search it on Google and watch it, because I cannot do it justice. I mean, I can't do it injustice, I guess, because it's bad. So if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It even like the 7 minutes that they're yelling at each other. But regardless, I guess I would start with the idea. Did you see when Vance was like, "Have you said thank you once?"
No, but I heard about that.
That is like so crazy for so many reasons. First of all, and I'll start with this because this is actually, it's besides the point. This is not even what's important here.
Yeah.
Zelensky has said thank you like many, many, many times. Maybe not specifically to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But he has thanked the United States as a country, and he has thanked the American people many, many, many times, very emphatically. So I think that those two idiots were just, let me soften my language. I just think that those two politicians, because they are politicians.
Yes.
I think that those two guys were just upset that they didn't get a personal thank you from Zelensky, when it's like, okay, well, why would he thank you? Because your entire platform is like, we don't want to support you anymore. Yeah.
And I like how, like, I think, didn't Trump go to Putin first?
Yes.
And
he did.
That, like, it was so crazy to me.
It's insane because, and like you said, he went to Putin first, and they were having peace talks without Ukraine.
Yeah. it almost felt like this was, like, just to make just to try to convince the American people, like, yeah, see, that's why I went to Putin first, because, see, this is going to happen when I go to Ukraine. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. And in his head, in their head, I feel like, yeah, that probably is the thinking. But then it's like, for anybody watching that has like any level of critical thinking or knowledge, I'm sorry, but like, come on, like, and I should clarify, everybody has critical thinking skills. You just have to use them.
Yes,
you just have to use them.
That's
okay.
Fair.
That's seriously, like, I don't think anybody, and I genuinely believe this, I don't think anybody on Earth is substantially stupid than the person next to them. Okay. I just think it is a choice. Yeah. You have to choose to use the tools that evolution has given you. Please, you have the most advanced computer in the entire universe in your head. You should use it. I encourage you to use it. The opportunities it unlocks are unbelievable.
You wouldn't believe it.
You will be shocked if you simply use your brain to its fullest potential. Anyways, and anybody can do it. That's what I'm saying.
Anybody, yeah.
Because I don't want to sit here and sound like, oh, I look down upon people. I don't. I just think, please, everybody should use your critical thinking skill. Anyways,
Yeah. Yes.
Back to what I was actually going to say. Anybody who's watching that is thinking about it critically and has any sort of knowledge on the situation, like. I lost my train of thought. I got too into my.
Well, I think a good point about the whole idea of like, did you even say thanks? That's not the point.
That's not the point.
Like, they're just so far from like.
Yes.
Like that. The way that question is phrased too is only to make him seem like he's not grateful.
When he is.
Like
he definitively is.
Like, it was only supposed to make him look bad, which I don't get why he's they're allies.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're getting to the main thing that I want to talk about with this is that, like, okay, so Trump's whole thing is America first, right? And like, America first is the type of thing where when you think about it at like the most surface of service levels, when you hear America first, it's like, yeah, man, America first. Of course, I live here, man. I love this country. Red, white, and
last.
blue. I love my troops. I love my barbecue. I love NASCAR. I love NFL football, except for when they're kneeling for the national anthem. Now, that's a problem you hear. Now.
And you're for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, when you think about it on that level, sure, America first.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I mean, if you're the president of the United States, you should have American interests first. On an objective level, I agree with that.
Yes.
The thing is with that, if you want to be consistent with that, and you should be, you should be consistent with that if you're going to say it, you need to actually know what is best for America. And I can tell you one thing, what is best for America is not giving Vladimir Putin, dictator of Russia / war criminal.
Yeah.
America first is not giving that man what he wants.
Yeah.
That is not America first. That's Russia first. Like, let's get real.
Like, if Ukraine's an ally, we have to treat them like an ally. We can't bring them on TV and then just yell at them for...
And furthermore, he treated it like it was an episode of The Apprentice. And that's the problem with him, is he thinks everything is a show. Yeah. And it's... Furthermore, okay, America first, right? Let's stop acting, because it is an act. It's a deception that you're committing upon yourself. Let's stop acting like supporting Ukraine and any efforts that are similar to that. We talked about USAID pretty extensively before. Whether it's helping Ukraine or funding USAID, which is essentially the United States branch of foreign support for various programs, if you're unfamiliar. But yeah, whether it's USAID or Ukraine, which, by the way, I said this before, but I'll say it again, it bears mentioning. Federal aid as a whole in fiscal year 23, I believe it was 1.2% of the entire federal budget. 1.2%, okay? So if you're complaining about this, just know that. Furthermore, let's not act like spending money on these situations. And again, it's just spending money. It's not like let's not get it twisted. Americans are not dying in Ukraine.
No.
That's not happening. And funding Ukraine is directly, if you're looking at it purely from a pragmatic sense, because I mean, it's probably pretty clear. I am of the belief that funding Ukraine and assisting Ukraine is the morally correct thing to do. That is what I would say. That is what I would tell you. So just to be clear about that. I would agree. But if you're looking at it purely pragmatically, even if you disagree with me that it's the morally necessary thing to do, if you were looking at it purely pragmatically, funding Ukraine is directly beneficial to U.S. interests, because having a democratic ally in that region defend itself from hostile takeover from an authoritarian government, that, I mean, there's not much more deeper to say. That is directly beneficial to us because, and again, purely pragmatically speaking, when you are doing those things, you are spreading your influence. And if you are saying America first, America first, America first, your priority should be to not only maintain the hegemony that the U.S. has managed to implement over the past, I mean, since World War II. So we're talking about the past 80 years. You should be wanting to maintain that, but also like promote that and expand it. And I say that because a big part of why this war was started, according to Russia, people, I'm getting frustrated in my own head. Because people will tell you that, oh, like Ukraine did start the war because they wanted to join NATO, and that leaves Russia with no choice. First of all, I'm looking at that camera again. I'm looking at this one. Hello. That's stupid to say that. Because what do you mean Russia had no choice? If Ukraine wants to join NATO, they should be able to do that. Because yes, Russia is a hostile nation, and they proved it with this.
Yeah.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. What are you talking about? Oh, they wanted to join NATO, so it's their fault. They told Russia that they weren't. I don't care what Ukraine told Russia that they weren't going to join NATO, because Russia's a bully, and Ukraine is like a million times smaller. I don't care what promises they made to Russia, because again, Russia is an authoritarian state. Ukraine is a democratic state. Mm-hmm. They do things the right way. Because yes, like as Connor mentioned, a lot of the Eastern European states, former Soviet republics, they carry a lot of that like pro-Soviet, which has translated into pro-Russian beliefs, and they're more so okay with the Russian influence. Ukraine is kind of an outlier in that sense, because yes, they did want to join NATO, they did want to stand against Russian influence. Yeah, and just to kind of backtrack, like the creation of NATO, like the United States in general, and I feel like I touched on this before, in the 1940s and 50s, and that whole kind of, golden age of prosperity, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. In that in that era of exponential growth of American influence, all of these international organizations that we are a part of, whether it's NATO, UN Security Council, World Trade Organization, like, we didn't, like, agree to these things. Well, not even just agree. We didn't, like, construct these things, because really we were the main, like, sponsors of it. Mm-hmm. We didn't construct these organizations. We didn't agree to the terms of these organizations. We didn't join and support these organizations out of the kindness of our own heart. Because, again, let's be pragmatic about things. Yeah. Because I think all of these international organizations are great because they have created a better world for us coming out of World War II. Oh. But let's be pragmatic. Not even like, this isn't a moral argument. Let's be pragmatic. Yeah. Like, practical. Like, we did all this because it benefits us. Yeah. Like, so again, if a state that agrees with NATO and by proxy with us that Russia is a threat to them and they do not want to be influenced and they want to join NATO, that's pretty obvious that we should support that state. Mm-hmm. And I just, I don't understand. It's hard to understand.
It's difficult to understand where their head's at with this one.
It's really, really hard to understand. I don't get it.
In a way, like, scary. Like, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah, it is scary. And like, and again, it's Zelensky said in the meeting, and he didn't say this in like a malicious way, but he said, like, in essence, he said, like, you don't feel it now because you have a big ocean, which we do. Mm-hmm. But he's like, you'll feel it in the future. If you give Russia what they want, you're gonna feel in the future, which is true. Yeah. Because again, like, let's stop playing this like game with ourselves where we're like, oh, well, Russia didn't start the war, and actually they're not that bad, and, Vladimir Putin's a cool guy, and he likes America. Let's stop playing this game with ourselves. Like, what is this? Yeah. Did you, like, oh my God, it's like, watch Rambo or something, dude. Like, I don't know, like, that's all you got to do. Like, and like, usually that's not even like, no, I'm not, because it's serious. Watch any action movie from the 80s and like seriously, watch any action movie from the 80s. Mm-hmm. Mostly any, and just learn from that, seriously.
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. He killed Apollo.
He did.
He killed Apollo Creed because
and that's inexcusable.
And that's inexcusable because the Russian, and let me be clear, the Russian people are not our enemy. It's the Russian government and the Russian oligarchy and the Russian
the dictatorship.
The dictatorship, yes. Yeah. So I'm not saying that like we need to send troops to Ukraine and start a war with Russia, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to stuff like this that is so simple. Mm-hmm. It's so simple and it's so clear that benefiting Ukraine, again, is not just the morally correct thing to do, but that it directly benefits the United States. I don't know why on earth you would even consider just bending the knee and giving Vladimir Putin what he wants.
Yeah, I almost think it's less about like the argument of like, oh, like who started the war, who did this, and like why are we even having this argument? It seems pretty clear who we should be supporting here.
It's so silly.
And it's a big waste of everyone's time to just to now have this big argument of like that. I mean, like Trump and events are starting now with like, oh, is Zelensky being like Zelensky's not being grateful? Like maybe Putin. Like maybe we should start supporting.
Yeah,
like,
'cause
don't even throw that idea into the air.
It's like, well, we're gonna give our allegiance to whoever's most grateful, and Putin's gonna be very grateful.
Americans are grateful. Therefore,
Yeah.
it's a big headache that doesn't need to be had.
Yeah.
And I can only hope in the future that, things just, someone tells them, like, sits them down and is like, hey,
Yeah.
we want to, like, support the people that are going to help us in the
Yes.
future.
And then
not your friends.
the last thing I'll say, because I've spoken my piece on it, obviously.
Yeah.
I'll just say, and, no situation is one-to-one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the last time we gave a European dictator what they wanted, do you remember what happened there?
Mm-mm.
When Hitler wanted Czechoslovakia,
Oh.
and they gave it to him, and they made him promise. They made him promise, Scout's honor, that he would not invade the rest of Czechoslovakia.
Did he?
He did.
Damn.
And you should know this, but he did. I was going to be more subtle with this, but you.
This is new information to me.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up.
Okay.
I did not like my U.S. history teacher. Not U.S. World history teacher. So I think that's why.
Fair enough. Do you want to tell the people about the Pope?
The Pope.
Tell the people about the Pope.
The Pope is still alive. That's good news. And
Thank God.
And as of an hour ago, there was an article, since recording this, on Monday the 3rd, March the 3rd, 2025. According to the Vatican, he had 2 episodes of acute respiratory failure, but he is alert and resting.
I like the addition of alert.
He's alert.
He's alert. He
so
knows what's going on.
This is not great news, but it is better news.
Better news.
And I think we'll take what we can get. And we won't have to talk about this for long because we talked about the Pope for a while last time.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give you all an update on that.
I am glad, though, like I said, more than
Yeah.
anything else, that he's alert. I mean, that's one of the best things you
Yeah.
can be, is like,
Alert.
yeah.
You understand what is happening around
I'm
you.
going to start, like, if next time you ask me how I'm doing, be like, I'm alert.
Oh.
That's
I believe
kind of
you.
cold, honestly.
And saying you're alert, I believe you're alert because that's like
You have to believe. When somebody tells you they're alert, you have to believe it.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't just say that and you're not actually alert.
because if you weren't alert, you would never
you would never
think to
say
you were
it.
alert.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
But going off of that, you mentioned that next week we won't have an episode.
Yeah, because of spring break.
But
which should be fun.
what is your plans for spring break?
My plans for spring break. So for the first weekend, I am going, as in like this weekend, I guess.
Okay.
So this weekend I'll be going to Lancaster County with my girlfriend Olivia, and which Lancaster County. It's like a fun place because you get to see Amish people who are interesting folk.
Like a good amount of time you see Amish people.
Yeah. Did you know that they go to baseball games?
They do.
They do. Yeah.
Are those like the
true.
like regular?
They're probably one of the more like.
What's that called?
Well, there's Mennonites.
Mennonites. That's what it is.
So it was probably Mennonites to
No,
to
but that's still
clarify.
like surprising.
Yeah, I mean it's like
I haven't seen many Amish in my
I don't
time.
want to upset the Amish. Not that I have anything against them anyway.
No, yeah, just I wonder
yeah.
what teams they root for.
Well, they can't like watch TV.
That's
though.
right.
So like they don't even
Can they read the paper?
probably. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
I mean,
I
probably.
imagine they're looking at.
I think all but the most extreme of them would probably be allowed to read the paper.
You're
Yeah.
right.
So wait, okay, so Olivia, let's distribute to the Amish too.
That might be our best.
They need to stay, and that's a big market for us.
That's a big market.
Wait, because I'm willing to bet there is no newspaper that is catering exclusively to the Amish,
Yep.
or not exclusively to the Amish, but just catering
At all.
At all.
Yeah.
Like if we just have like if we have 1 or 2 stories a week that it's like the
Updates on corn. or something like that?
updates on corn.
Updates on the
Like
harvest.
how's I was about to say that. You stole that from me. Oh my God. But that's it's clever. Op-ed. Pastor Jones. I wasn't really a big fan of that sermon he gave last Sunday. In the op-ed section. Like he said.
Horse and carriage breakdown.
Horse and carriage breakdown. What's the fastest horse? Everybody, or what's the strongest
What's
horse?
the strongest
or
horse?
the best horses for each use on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're racing Jebediah, you don't want to show up with a burly Shire.
Yeah, you're right.
You want to show up with a quick and steady Arabian.
And that's a great point. I think the Amish community will definitely appreciate this.
Let me tell you something. They would love it. They would love it. Because it's market, so they have stories for them, but then they can also be like, oh wait, but how's that new Paddington movie though?
Maybe I should check that out.
Yeah, maybe I should go check that out. But I know I'm not.
I can't.
I can't do it. I can't do it. God, oh, I'll go to hell if I go see it. But man, I kind of want to.
He looks so cute. I don't know.
Oh, like that. He's a British bear, man. I don't even know what British people are because I'm not allowed to go on the internet. But oh man, that bear looks cute and. He likes marmalade. I like marmalade too. Or wait, maybe I don't because we don't do that. That's.
Let's just next page.
Yeah.
Which carrot to grow for this harvest? A lot of opportunity that's not being like seized.
I think we might kick off kind of like a lot of like. I think a lot of people are going to want to leave after they read the quad. I think. Because leave the Amish.
Oh, leave the Amish.
Because like I said, so like we're gonna and maybe this is like a whole operation.
Well, think about it. Then we'd make enemies of the Amish. Because we'd be like turning so many.
But realistically, though, like, we're gonna make an enemy of the Amish. What are they gonna like come up with? Like, I mean, because they can't use guns.
They'll pitchfork us.
Yeah, but like you can see that coming. And also, make an enemy of the Amish. Okay, like it's one thing like if I made an enemy of like a fellow Westchester student, you know, like maybe you can't pick up them in a crowd. If you know that you're an enemy of the Amish, you can see an Amish
Oh, you
person.
can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, but you don't know.
So you can be like just, as long as you're like.
Yeah.
You can make an enemy of the Amish and make it out alive.
I guess that's a good point because you'll see them looking around.
You'll see them, and they'll also be, like you said, they'll also have their pitchfork or their rake, perhaps. I don't even know if they're allowed to have like knives.
Well, they gotta
probably for some purposes, but like
you gotta be able to like cut lettuce, I imagine.
Well,
cabbage.
That's like a. I mean, yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they call it a blade.
A blade, yeah, a blade.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. You're right. But again, like even then, like as long as you're like, if you keep your wits about you,
mm-hmm.
and you keep one eye open,
would make it out. And
maybe you put like an upside down cross on your front door, because like they won't go near that.
Yeah, and put garlic on your lawn, like
no. I'm not. I don't dislike the Amish people.
No,
man.
we loved it. I love go Amish.
People. Go Amish.
Go Amish.
Go Amish. It's always like go birds. Go Amish.
So before we make any bigger of an enemy of the Amish, we do love.
But we're not enemies though. Because
we're not
because we want to serve you. And when an Amish and just to be clear, when an Amish person speaks, I sit and I listen.
I sure hope so. I do too.
I don't because.
If you were to interact with an Amish person, you would sit and listen.
I would because
it'd be a conversation.
Because we want to serve you. That's what I'm saying. So
we're here for you, and we want to support you with the paper.
Want to support you. Yes.
But what's your plans for spring break?
Oh, pretty much that. You know, that's about it. No, but yeah, there's some cool stuff in Lancaster, the city. So head over there. There's like some good food and snacks and whatnot over there.
That's mostly it.
As of right now, that's mostly it. I'm gonna come back. I have an internship interview on Tuesday, which fingers crossed.
I'll be wishing for you. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
My plans are to just like sit around and do nothing. Like, I've just been like
fair.
so.
That's fair.
Like it's just been stressful.
It's been a lot.
This semester's been like way more stressful than my last one. I felt like I have more like projects. It's not like busy work like my last one was.
Yeah.
So it's like my like I family, almost all my family's up in Michigan, so my mom's headed up there, and she's like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, no." Like my brother's going, so it's not like she's gonna be alone. But it's like I went over winter break too, so I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. Like seriously.
And at least in my mind, winter break honestly feels like that was like really recently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like I just need a week to. I'm planning trips to go to an aquarium. That's what I want to do. I haven't gone to an aquarium in a long time, but
I don't know if I have either.
I have no like. I've never looked to go to an aquarium. It was not my idea. It was actually my girlfriend's.
That is a good point. Like, how do aquariums stay?
No hate.
Wait, hold on. How about this? How do aquariums stay afloat?
Oh, that's good. Someone write that down.
Because, point being,
Yeah.
because like you said, I've never in my life been like, you know what, like, I want to go to the aquarium.
Yeah,
that's not a diss, because like aquariums are cool. But
Like, a zoo is different because you like walk around. You can make a good day out of a zoo.
and you can convince yourself that you're like interacting with the animals.
Yep.
Whereas with an aquarium, it's like they kind of swim by and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I feel like I have to be like near an aquarium. I was like, oh, ticket's not that much. I guess I'll go to an aquarium.
Yeah.
But there are certain people who do love the aquatic life. And
Yeah.
I don't hate the aquatic life. I never go to seek it out.
It's not for me because like even like when I go to the beach, like I'm not like a go into the ocean type person.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
You sit on the beach, read a book kind of guy.
Not even that necessarily. I enjoy being near the ocean, but I understand and respect the fact that I do not belong there. Like
I get that.
Like from an evolutionary, biological, what have
Okay.
you sense, I understand that is not my place.
I only really enjoy the ocean if it's like really like if the waves are like really like rough and like crashing.
That
like,
does make it fun.
because it's like the beach, like the beach itself, like the sand. That's where I relax. If I want to if I was going in the ocean, I don't want to relax. Like that's supposed to be like the fun.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually. But it's just, yeah.
And if you want to like, even if you don't want like the crashing waves and stuff, just stay on the put your toes in.
Or go to a pool.
Go to a pool.
You know what I mean?
Go to a
Yeah.
pool if you want it so bad.
And yeah, because for me it's just like, and look, you can call me a big baby. I probably am. But one of the things that I fear the most in life is just if I'm walking in the ocean and I step on like a crab or something.
I have stepped on. I have not stepped on, but I have felt some things in the ocean that have scared me. Maybe I should have worded that better.
Yeah, like you took
I paused.
a
I
little bit
paused.
of an uncomfortable pause after you said I felt things. Oh, okay. You know, we don't have to talk about that.
There was some slimy like fish or hard rocks or crab. I don't know in the ocean that I have felt.
And you did something to it.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, I screeched. Because okay, like you could be the most like stereotypical man walking in, you know, buff, don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
As soon as you feel that slimy thing touch you in the ocean, you're running.
You
are running. There's no.
And further to your point, you can be the biggest, toughest guy ever. A shark will still ruin your day.
Each of the same. If anything, you're more.
You're more likely.
You're more
because
likely.
The shark's gonna see that and be like, 3-course dinner.
Exactly.
So you don't want to. You want to be. Yeah, you want to be smaller, I guess.
I guess so. The smaller you are, the better.
Smaller target, less enticing.
Yes.
Yeah. So small people, I would say the ocean is safe for you.
Go ahead.
But if you're medium to like large stature, like maybe if we're saying like 6 foot plus, stay out.
Stay far away.
Yeah, stay far away.
But yeah, and I mean, we'll definitely have like when we come back from spring break, we'll have a whole like we're saying like, oh, I don't have much planned, and then we're gonna come back like so much happened.
Yeah. In our own lives and in the world and
Yeah.
the happenings that occur. Yeah. So I mean, the Oscars happened last night.
They did, and I did not watch.
I didn't either. So if you're looking forward to some Oscar analysis, I apologize. Neither of us watched it.
Yeah, I like movies too. Like
Yeah. I mean,
I like going to the movies. I just had no interest.
I will say in 2024, I was not the best with getting to the theater. I'm working on that, and I've already gotten better at it in this year.
right.
I have already seen. January is usually a dry month for movies anyway, so I didn't see anything in January. But this past month in February, I saw the new Captain America movie. We talked about that.
That's right.
It was bad. But I saw Paddington as well.
That's right.
Paddington 3, Paddington in Peru. Much better movie than Captain America. Really wholesome and enjoyable. That was a good one. And yeah, I'm gonna be better with seeing movies this year.
Okay.
But I sucked at it last year. I don't know. I guess there was.
I got caught up with shows.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like I got caught up with just watching shows and watching like I don't know. Just
we have like hour-long discussions on Severance every week too.
Oh my God, yeah, like
And
before...
also, promo for you. Sam here writes awesome reviews by the episode of Severance every week.
Extensive.
Yeah. He was told actually by our corrupt and
Oh my God.
and ineffective leadership that he had to cut them down, which I disagree with.
I mean, they were long, and I understand it's tough to fit it on a page.
But sometimes you can say more with more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saying more with less is kind of overrated. Why say more with less when you can say more with more?
Exactly.
And you can make your point better.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why the corrupt quad government had to censor me.
They need to be replaced. And I'm glad to report that we are having elections soon.
Yes.
So it's time to make a change, and my campaign starts now.
Many of you viewers cannot vote, but... but
wait. But maybe they can.
Maybe you can if you're a member.
Keep it on the down low.
Oh, yeah?
And we can get some votes in.
This will not look good for you. Coming tomorrow. but
yeah.
But no, yeah. Like before each for at least 30 minutes before each podcast we talk about Severance.
Yeah.
And that to me, like, I love watching a show weekly and being able to talk about it with people.
I love
like
it.
binging a show is fun, but like,
and I agree with you. Like, I will never understand. Like, why do people do meth when you can like watch a weekly TV show and talk with people about it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is like the best. That is the best thing ever. It's just
from having experience with both, you have to.
I know. Yeah, I believe me. I've been out.
But
yeah.
Going with the Oscars though, like I don't think I even saw one of the Best Picture things, and that's, I don't know. I feel like it's just not convenient anymore to go and see a movie. I don't feel like I see trailers as much as I used to.
It's kind of too expensive, I think.
It's too expensive.
It's not quite $20 a ticket, but it's kind of approaching like $20 a ticket.
And if it's like, okay, if you're going to go to movies, you kind of got to get popcorn. I feel like if you don't, you don't have to, but I feel like I feel like that's like an attached part of it. You can go to the movies and you'll still have a good experience.
Okay.
Are you against the popcorn?
I know most people would agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I'm not anti-popcorn.
Oh, really?
And actually, I'm the victim here because I've been lambasted and criticized and verbally assaulted, and people have committed libel against me.
What?
For not preferring to have popcorn during a movie.
Really?
Because I just like, okay, because first of all, like popcorn's good, but for me, okay, and you might you probably will disagree with this. For me, it's good, but it's not good enough to spend like, and they charge you up the ass for it at the theater.
Mm-hmm. Like, is it worth what they're charging for it? No. But is it a good addition to the experience? I believe so.
I would also say like, and I respect that, I do. It also kind of has to be a certain kind of movie though, because like, if you're going to see, I don't know, what's something that came out recently, like Paddington, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to see Paddington, yeah, grab some popcorn. It's a fun movie, sit back, enjoy some popcorn. If you're going to see like, I don't know, like Schindler's List or something.
Yeah. Probably not the best.
It seems kind of like, are you really going to sit there and be like, that's a little, like...
A little disrespectful.
It's a little... I mean, in that instance, it is kind of disrespectful. But even if it's like more of a serious movie just in general. I mean, I chose an extreme example there, obviously.
I do understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But I think it's become such like a connected thing, like popcorn and movies, that I for example, don't even think about it. If I'm going to movies, I'll get popcorn, might as well. And also, they're kind of... I hate that they're like... They put like the small, medium, and large. It's all like 45-cent differences. So it's like, might as well get a large.
And that's how they get you.
And that's they get me.
Yeah, they get you.
Because why not? And and just make it like $1 difference. Make me feel at least a little more guilty about it.
You want them to be worse at their business practices?
Yes.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Like, you're gonna charge so much for the movies. Charge more for the food. I don't know.
You want them to charge more. I see where you're coming from though.
I don't know. I feel like additions to the movie should be like, if you want to go to like, if you want to get a ticket, shouldn't be that much.
Yeah.
Additions should be more, because I feel like that's like you're technically like amplifying the experience.
I would
which
actually.
I don't think is true, but
I would advocate for a system where, like, let's say like once every 3 months, because for me, and so my thinking is that something that for me is kind of like preventing me to seeing more movies than I probably should is like, okay, so the price, right, is like about $20 a ticket, or like nearing that.
Yeah, depends where you go. But
in all fairness, let's say like 15.
Yeah,
but you know, you're probably going to be going there with at least one other person, so let's say like 30.
30.
So for me, it's like, okay, like $30 is not cheap.
No,
it's not cheap. I mean, especially for us.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like I'm spending $30 plus popcorn, like you said. So you're talking about maybe even like $40. What if I go and see this movie and it's just terrible? And and not only is that like $30-$40 down the drain, but it's like 2 hours of my time down the drain.
Yeah, that's actually a great point.
So I would propose a system where once every 3 months you can be like, I didn't like this movie. Give me my money back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I would go.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. No business would ever do that. But
I see what you mean, because that's something I didn't even think about. You could spend all this money and the movie sucks.
Yeah.
Then what? And I feel like that's also another thing. Like it's now like riskier to go, because I feel like any movie can get made now. So many movies are getting made now that there's less of a filter.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'll just throw this. And I feel like I think that's Netflix and all those things are tough, because they just pour garbage upon garbage onto Netflix.
Yeah.
And no matter how good it looks, it probably is going to suck. Yeah. And so that's made like going to the movies and actually having to spend money for one thing even scarier, I think.
It is. I mean, in a lot of ways, like the film industry is like kind of cannibalizing itself in that way.
I think so.
Because it probably is too much.
Yeah. And there's movies I actually was excited to see that are in theaters or something like that, and I was like, I just never ended up going to see them. Like I wanted to watch like Nosferatu and stuff like that, but never got around to it. I don't know. I think it's harder to also get people to go to the movies. I don't know if you have that, but well,
of course it is. Yeah, I mean that goes all the way back to the pandemic.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's a whole conversation on its own. But
it really is.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But with the Oscars, I think the Oscars has become its own, like, you have to be in it to, you have to be in that community to really enjoy the Oscars.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if the host is good. I like Conan. I think I only saw a few clips and it looked like he did well. I've heard he did well. I heard he killed it. Yeah. But I feel like you really got to be a part of the community now. Like, it's not just for like anybody to go and watch. I mean, you can, but I don't think you'll really enjoy it as much unless you really put in the effort to go see it all.
Yeah, it is fun because the Oscars are so famous because I have no statistics to back this up, but I feel like culturally they used to have a lot more significance.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially back in like, pre-internet. I feel like people would sit down and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like as an event.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it does speak to like all these things that are happening, that it is not so like monolithic anymore.
And a big thing that kind of annoyed me is that like the Oscars like cut down a bunch of stuff like oh, we're not showcasing this award or that award, and everyone's like, what, are you kidding me? You're not showing that? I'm like, don't seriously look at me and tell me you wouldn't be on your phone during that part. Like, you don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you honestly really care. Like, not to like diss on that award. Obviously, they put a lot of effort and work into it.
Yeah.
And they should be recognized for it. But I mean, like, you weren't gonna sit there and watch who won best sound editing. Like, that does not affect. You do not care.
Yeah. And I would argue that if you care that much, you're probably sitting in the audience. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
But I do, for the next Oscars, I do want to be a little more, like, knowledgeable. At least, like, it didn't have any impact on me. And, like, last year, it even had, like, a small impact. This one had zero impact on me.
Like you said, like, in terms of impact, it honestly is kind of funny that people ever cared that much about it, because at the end of the day, like, just like what you like.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what other people think.
I think in an age of, like, the internet, and it's like you grow more attached to personalities that review stuff, where it's like you don't know who the Oscars are just like this board of people you don't know. So it's like what they say, what does that really mean?
And culture is so splintered nowadays because of the internet. And this is not my idea. I saw this floating around elsewhere. But like, to use Severance as an example.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you would agree that if Severance was a television show that was airing on, like, NBC, for example, 20, 25, 30 years ago, it would be the only thing anybody talks about.
Yep.
Everybody would be watching it.
You're right.
It would be like The Sopranos.
Yep. Or Lost. Yeah.
Yeah, or Lost. Yeah. That's probably even a better example. Everybody would be watching it. Everybody would be talking about it. Like, literally, like, you go out in the street, random person, talk to them about it. And, I mean, you know, you can say it's good because there's more to watch, you know.
Yeah.
But to a certain extent, I think you lose some of the cultural kind of cohesion. And that, you know. My point here basically is everybody should watch Severance.
I think, yeah.
That's
Everyone
my
should.
Yeah.
But to end, I think to end on this, but I think a lot, like, I don't know, with the internet and stuff like that, subjectivity has become like such a big thing where it's like, what is your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? And like, I think the Oscars is very just like, this is what the best movie of the year was. We're saying that, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why did you say that? What, like, there's no like why. It's just, this is what we said. And it's like,
you're right.
I think the lack of explanation and like, and there's no personality behind it makes it feel like they're trying to be very objective about it, which I think has become less popular.
Yeah. That's an excellent point because like having an opinion in 2025, you know, I'll censor it, but opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink. So like,
never heard of that.
Who really cares? What the Oscar people think? I mean, like, you know, it's great for people that won. I'm not trying to diminish that.
No, yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like my point is here, like I said, just like what you like. It doesn't matter.
At this point, Oscars and I think all these big awards are kind of just like big advertisements. It's like whatever won, go check it out. That's the one they think that people should actually go listen to. So it's like, go check it out. It won. It must be pretty good.
That's true. Yeah.
And so it's literally just a big promo. But
yeah, I guess again, the big whatever, the big evil executive has told us that we're running low on time.
Yep.
So I was just thinking about something earlier, and I'll close with this because I just because the world is insane right now.
On fire.
Yeah, I mean, in many cases, literally on fire.
Yeah.
It's just a funny story there, like looking back on. So, and I feel like Olivia might have even been there when this happened. But so after, I think it was the day after the election last year. I was talking to my dad about it, and like, you know, like my dad has a particular distaste for Donald Trump.
Okay.
He does not like the man, and it's an understatement to say that he doesn't like the man. He quite despises Donald Trump. That makes it even funnier in my head what he said. But like, so I wake up the day after the election, and I'm just kind of like a ghost the day after.
Yeah.
Because like you know, I mean, like very much unlike 2020, you knew in the morning the day after that Trump won.
Yeah.
That was crazy to me.
Yeah.
So I wake up and I'm like shell shocked walking around, and I see my dad for the first time the next day, and he's like, it's not the first thing he said, but at some point in the conversation, he was like, yeah, like, you know, it sucks, but like, I have confidence, like we're gonna be fine. Like midterms are in 2 years, and then he's like, now you just got to bury yourself in the Eagles, man. Like, and again, like my dad is very aware of the stakes of all this.
Yeah.
He does not like Donald Trump one bit, but that was one of the very first things he said to me is like, yeah, you know, it's terrible, but it happened, and you got to go all in on the Eagles, man.
But now the Super Bowl's gone, you have to find something new to bury yourself in.
That's true. It's a problem now, but you know they're the Phillies now. But
Severance is now here.
Severance. That's very true, and I bring that up because it doesn't have to be. And it's funny, and you know, I would never tell my dad this to his face because he annoys the hell out of me. But but I do love him. I would never say it to his face, but it is good advice if you take it in a very general sense. The world kind of sucks right now, and you definitely do everything in your power to, you know, stand against that.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we don't want
do what's right.
We don't want these things to happen. We got to do what's right. But for yourself, bury yourself in the things that you are interested in and that you love and that you're passionate about. And I promise you, in the end, you will be okay. You will make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. I mean, just almost like distracting yourself from all the, bad. Because sitting on it all day isn't going to
exactly
do
and
much.
I would even say distracting yourself has like a negative connotation to it that I wouldn't even necessarily use. I would just say like just
involving yourself more
more than anything else. I think just like maintaining your sense of like positivity more than anything else, because like if you have something, even if it's one thing that you look forward to every day or every week or whatever, and it might sound silly to say, but even if it's like an episode of Severance, that keeps you going.
Yeah. And
it's not insignificant. It keeps you going. Just have things like that. Have something every day that you look forward to.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's so much negativity right now that like highlighting the positive in your life.
It's difficult to do that in many times. But just remember that for as much, and I truly, it might sound like I'm blowing smoke, but I do believe this. In the world, there's a lot of bad stuff going on. There's a lot of nasty stuff going on. But I really think in humanity in general, I think that there is so much more goodness to find than like the kind of evil and hatred that boils to the top.
I think hatred makes, I think news will focus on hatred more than they will on positivity stuff.
That's true.
So
I mean, that's
what you're going to see more, and I think being able to focus on that is super important.
Yeah, just don't fall into the death spiral, because that is what they want you to do.
Yeah.
That, like, the people that are in charge right now, that's what they want you to do. I mean, I know that's more of a subjective political statement.
Yeah.
But I everything that I see, I don't know. Don't fall into the pit of despair and hopelessness and hatred.
Yeah. Like, look up news right now and you're going to see so much
Yeah.
to not like. But to be able to find something in your day that you do enjoy that makes you happy,
Yes.
stick with that and focus on that.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%.
And what a positive note to end on.
Yes.
So, want to thank you so much for listening. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
It was a great time.
Really
It's
educated
always a
time?
great time. Yeah. Very educational.
Very educational. And you know what? We won't be back next week,
Yeah, we'll be.
but the week after.
You want to sound very professional about it? We'll be off next week.
We'll be off.
No, I'm looking at that one. We'll be off next week.
Off, yep.
Yeah. I'll be vacationing in Germany.
I'll be lying in bed.
Well, we need to make ourselves sound professional.
I will
so what are you
be
gonna doing?
exploring the underground. And
What? Exploring
I'm
the
busy.
underground. Exploring the
yeah,
underground?
you're going to be in Germany.
You're just going underground? What are you, a mole person?
Oh, I'm like cave diving professionally. It's like a business trip.
Exploring the underground is just the best way you could have phrased that.
Great. Now I don't sound professional.
I'm sorry. Okay, no. Okay. Wait, you know what you should say? You're going to go spelunking.
I'm going spelunking.
Yes.
Professionally. And
I will be sommeliering around southern Germany. That's what I will be doing. Yes.
And so we'll be very busy, but we'll be
very
back.
busy.
But we will be back.
We will be back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually won't be coming back now. All right. Well, I hope you had a good time. I'll be very glad to see you guys back in 2 weeks.
Yes, we ourselves will be glad to be back.
Of course.
In 2 weeks, as we always are.
I hope you enjoyed.
Yes. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Signing off.
Bye.